What's going on, Eagles Nation? This is your boy, AK Eagles, and welcome to another episode of the Eagles Uncensored podcast. I may cuss, I may fuss, but you can count on me and my content like the fucking city bus. Welcome, everyone, and I want to introduce you to one of my special guests and a guy I've been trying to get on here for a long time, my guy, Philly RB. How's it going, my guy?
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me on the show. Big fan of what you do. Keep on grinding, and thank you so much, man. I'm excited to chop it up with you for the first time. Let's go.
Yeah, for sure, man. First off, I want to, get right to the point. I heard some news last night about Jalen Hurts. Not sure if you heard about it, but about his digestive system, him having some issues, and he might have this one certain disease that he might have to get surgery on if it's that bad, and that's what it is. Well, what's your take on that? How do you feel on it? And, with the videos with Jalen Hurts dancing before pregame and all that, do you just think this is smoke or do you think it's real? I mean, what do you got for him, my guy?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it's legit. I think he did go to the hospital. Now, it's unfortunate. He didn't look like anything was wrong. But all this, a lot of people like to create noise. And I feel like, especially, the writers, they're trying to get their name out there as well. It's a common theme we seem to always see with the Eagles media. So I do think there's something there. In terms of Jalen Hurts, honestly, it's unfortunate. It really is. I don't think it's going to be a long-term issue. But we need to see what this guy has this year. We can't have him missing 5 games for this, couple games for that. I don't want to see that. I want to see the kid healthy. I want to see him get some reps. I don't know what the game plan was the other day, why we sat some people, we started others. I didn't really like that. But in terms of Jalen Hurts, we need him to be healthy. We saw that we really don't have a reliable backup option. If Jalen Hurts goes down, we are complete toast. So I really don't know. It seems like in Philadelphia, weird things like this happen. But I'm just going to hope he's all right. I hope he doesn't have to get surgery. And I hope he's ready to go within a couple weeks, especially for week 1,
For sure, man. For sure. Real quick, shout out to all these guys. Logan, Giant Zone. Appreciate you, guy. You're always in here. Even though you're a Giants fan, you still represent me. So, hey, it is what it is, my guy. Appreciate you. Bird Gang 31, how's it going? Big Play Slay, as always, my guy. Philly Girl, she's always in here supporting me. Appreciate you. Welcome back. And, Vic 3, how's it going, my guy? So, and that's something I want to talk to you about, too. You mentioned. I wanted to see our offense for the first quarter and a half, or even up to halftime, because I feel they need that time to get the chemistry, the continuity together, so we can have a successful season. And it is frustrating. So, I mean, does it frustrate you that these guys aren't out there playing this valuable time, or, should we be resting them? Because, I mean, that's the big argument right now. Is it rest or is it play? I mean.
Yeah. In my personal opinion, everybody differs. But for me, these guys haven't really earned anything yet. We need to see them out there. They have to get, like you said, this continuity together, this chemistry. I think chemistry is the most underrated element when it comes to professional sports teams. People try to act like chemistry doesn't mean a thing. You can just put the greatest talent together and it's just going to be a polished product. No, these guys have to work together each day. So I agree. I think they should have been out there at least for a drive, 2 drives, maybe a quarter, 2 quarters. I don't mind that at all. I don't know what the plan is going to next week, but, there's only 3 preseason games now, and there's even an extended game on the regular season. So what are we doing sitting our players or playing half of them and not – I don't understand that at all. It was, gut-wrenching. It kind of just it deflated my energy before the game even started. And I knew it was going to go bad after the first couple possessions, and it just got even uglier. And it was a terrible way to, kind of keep things going for this team. Now we have one more game to try to get these guys on track together. So I didn't like it at all.
Now, I know you did not get into our stream last night, but I told you a little bit out of backstage, but I didn't tell you the extensive part of it. And we really got into a Joe Flacco conversation last night, and a Mullins conversation. And, yeah, let's not talk about him. But well, not a lot. There's a lot of us out here that, like you said, we see what our backup is now, and it's kind of scary. You know, because of that, do you think that our QB2 should be addressed better than what it is now? Or do you feel we should just roll with what we have and just pray to God it all sticks?
I mean, I don't know if there is a way to really address it unless there's, a key veteran free agent or someone via trade you can get. Now, if Jalen Hurts is going to, have issues this year, then you might want to address that. But who knows what the Eagles' plans even are, Like maybe they're not trying to contend fully this year if Jalen can't go and stuff. But I think the main goal is to see Jalen, see what he has this year, and address the rest of it after this year going forward. In terms of the backups, they are what they are. You can never ask too much. You can't have another Nick Foles situation. You can't have this and that. We knew Joe Flacco stunk when we signed him. People were saying it was a good signing, and it was for, $1 million, $2 million. But the guy's not going to be able to do a lot. He was missing easy throws, a couple easy ones to Devontae. And, we just have to hope and pray that Jalen does not go down. If he does, and if he does for an extended period of time, then things are not looking good. So I just think you roll with what you have and, hope and pray.
Well, and that's the one thing that I took away from the Flacco thing the other night, and it really kind of irritated me when he missed that ball to Watkins in the end zone, and then he's over there yelling at Devontae Smith. Dude, that is our rookie. He's supposed to be our next big thing. You're the backup, and you're literally sitting here yelling in his face. Jalen would have walked over and been like, "Hey, bro, do it this way, we'll get it," talk to him.
Right.
But Joe's literally yelling in his face. How is that going to help somebody when somebody's yelling in their face? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Talk to the kid. And that's why I don't like Joe Flacco. He's always been that way. That's why I never liked Phillip Rivers. He's always been that way. It's always, if I make the throw and you don't catch it, it's your fucking fault. And it's no, Joe, maybe you just threw a bad fucking ball. You know what I mean? He never takes blame. And that's why I didn't want Joe Flacco on this team, because we don't need an ego like his on this fucking team.
Yeah, Joe Flacco has no room to talk, especially at this point in his career. And it's crazy because Devontae actually took responsibility for the drops, even though they weren't even his fault. In the press conference, he said, I should have looked back quicker and all. No, you shouldn't have, Devontae. It was Joe's fault. The throws were terrible. But that shows me a lot from a young kid, in his first game, saying I'm going to come out here and take accountability for it, even, to back up my teammates. But yeah, we definitely don't need the egos. It's his first game. Give him a break. Throw the ball better, Joe. One common theme is that Eagles fans love to hype up certain signings. I knew Joe Flacco stunk. He's, people think he's going to turn back the clock. No, it's not 2009 anymore. The guy stinks, okay?
Yeah.
We just have to live with it. And, again, we got to hope Jalen stays healthy. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. No lie, I caught a lot of flack last night because I said I wouldn't mind trading Dillard and Flacco to the Raiders for Mariota, because I feel Mariota would be a better backup QB to Hurts, especially with everything going on. The system wouldn't have to change. Mariota kind of plays the same way he does. They're both mobile. They both can throw on the run. The system wouldn't change. If you start Joe Flacco, you have to change everything, because Joe ain't going nowhere. He's like a fat guy trying to get a cheeseburger in the pocket. It ain't going to fucking happen. He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, he's got new ability, so.
Yeah, so, and I caught a lot of flack for that. They're like, why would you give up Dillard? And it's first of all, Mailata's only making 3.5. Flacco's making $3 million, but he has $8 million in incentives.
Yeah, and that's a good point. That's a really good point. I've been trying to say this as well. A lot of people are buying into what is happening in camp, and I don't like to look too much into it, but as Philly fans, as fans that hold our guys accountable, it's time to stop just sitting here and holding on to the leash too long. Some of these guys are just not panning out, and they're just bad draft picks. They stink. And Andre Dillard is one of them. And it's sad to say, but I haven't really seen anything to think okay, he's going to turn it around now. The guy can't beat out, Jordan Mailata in camp. A guy that never played football till a couple years ago. it's just unfortunate, man. It really is.
Well, and not just that, but it's like everyone keeps saying, we have the best offensive line coach in the world, literally. And if this guy cannot make Dillard look good, who the fuck is gonna?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I mean,
you
I
already
agree.
said it. Look what he did for Mailata. He can't even do that for Dillard, and Dillard's a first round pick. But yet I'm wrong for saying I want to trade him for Mariota.
I
Okay.
want him out. I want JJ out. I'm done with him as well. There's just guys on his team that are just, you just got to cut loose ends. They're just taking up space at this point, and it's just they're not going to be good players. You can't hang on forever. It's a business, and if you're not producing any year, you could be out. So
Yeah, I mean, it's like they say, the best ability is accountability, right? Or availability, right? So,
availability, yeah,
I mean, Dillard is not available the last 2 years. This year he's injured right now. He's not
yeah,
available. What use is he to us?
none.
Um, so even while we're on this train, let's bring Derek Barnett into this situation. How you feel about Derek Barnett? If Sweat beats him out, are you okay with having a first round pick as a rotational piece and not starting? I mean,
For me, I am. I would be, because I think the type of attitude now that is on the Philadelphia Eagles is just, you got to work and you got to earn your playing time. And Derek Barnett's another one, like people keep hanging on to this belief. I tend to be that type of guy when it comes to certain players. I've been waiting years now for Barnett.
yep.
You got to live up to your potential, buddy. I mean, you're getting put in the same echelon as Reggie White coming out of Tennessee, and you're amounting 5 sacks a season. No, you're also playing on a defensive line with some of the best talent, in my opinion, that you could be surrounded by, in terms of Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. Like, you have to step up and produce, buddy, especially, with Fletch drawing so many double teams. It's just, you got to step up, and this year could really be the bend or break year for Derek Barnett. If he doesn't produce, he's probably going to end up going, because that's where our team is at. We're retooling, kind of rebuilding, and we don't have time for any more wasted space. And if Barnett, I mean, I've seen flashes out of Barnett, but you got to be consistent, buddy, and you got to stay on the field as well. So I mean, if Josh Sweat wins it, fine. If this guy wins it, fine. If Milton Williams comes out of nowhere, fine. Like, whoever is going to give us the most production, especially from these younger guys, that's what we need to see. So,
You know what? You said it so great right there, because you know what? I've been saying that for so long. A lot of people, they get hung up on guys, and everyone asks me, they're like, why are you willing to get off the train so fast? And it's like, dude, in the end, I love my team and I love my players.
yeah,
But I'm not going to bullshit anyone for 1 minute and say it's not all about the dubs, because it is.
yeah. And you're right.
I want the people that are out there on my field, the ones that are going to win me the game. It's not about favoritism. It ain't about how high you were drafted. It's not about how athletic you are. If you are the better choice for me to get a W on every Sunday, you're the one I want on my field. It's not about favoritism.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think, it's crazy, because me personally, I used to be that same type of person that would cling on to people. But in this last year, it's actually crazy when I think about my Eagles and my Sixers. Like, everything that has happened with those two teams has just shown me, like, you can't do that anymore. Like, if guys are not there, and we saw it last year, for example, with the Eagles, right? I mean, they were playing 35-million-year-old Jason Peters, who could barely stay in for 2 quarters, over Jordan Mailata. They did it before over Dillard. You got Alshon Jeffrey coming back, who, couldn't stay on the field, playing him over a guy who just had a really hot 4-game stretch. Like, we can't do that anymore. It's literally about putting the best talent on the field. I think Nick Sirianni kind of represents that. But there is one thing I'm worried about that Eagles fans seem to be forgetting so quickly, and that's the man upstairs, Mr. Howie Roseman. Are they going to let him coach? Are they going to let him make these decisions? Don't know.
Yeah, no, that is the scary situation. I mean, that's the one thing everybody's kind of been asking, is how much control does he really have? You know, I mean, he said he's going to make the 53 man roster. That fucking scares me.
Yeah,
I
it
mean, that
does.
truly does. Because that almost guarantees Dillard's on this team, JJ's on this team. You know, some of the other guys that we wouldn't expect to be on this team is going to make this team. So I mean, in a way, it scares me. And you know, a lot of people they sit there, and I would love to hear your answer to this. I've asked everyone this. What does Howie have to do to save his ass this year, and what does he have to do to screw it all up? Because we all know Howie's been on a good record so far this year, but it's also Howie to fuck it up. When's this fuck up coming, and what's it going to be, and is it going to be devastating enough to make him lose his job?
That's a great question. I honestly think, deep down, that he's messed up enough. He should have been gone. And you know what? I think he's going to be here either way. I'm sorry to say it, but I feel no matter what happens this season, some excuse, something else will come out of the blue. And I mean, you don't even need an excuse because Jeffrey Lurie loves the guy like his son, and he will not get rid of him, which is unfortunate because I said this at the end of last offseason. I've stuck by it. I'm now getting criticism for it because people seem to be, recency bias type of individuals. We are not going to win anything, at the top until Howie is gone because we are in this situation because of him. And I could honestly see something coming this year where Howie gears up and trades for a quarterback. That would be my out of the blue hot take kind of mess up. I could see him jumping all in for a guy like Watson or someone. That I could see it happening. Or I could see other things happening where a couple vets get more playing time because they're vets and they're being paid, or just something like that. But either way, my answer is that it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter because we are in this situation because of him. And even though we look like we have a good future, and even though he's shown us once before he can do it, let me tell you something. 2017, I give him credit. But the guy got lucky on every signing this man made in 2017 worked to perfection. Everything he put his hands on worked to perfection. And now I just don't see everything playing out like that again. We have a good future in terms of our talent, our draft picks, and the guy can make the cap work. But, mess up or not, he's going to be here because we have a hierarchy problem with the Eagles. And it hasn't been said enough. So that's just my thoughts on it.
I back you 100%. I'm not even playing. I believe the same way, and I even went on a further limb here like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm surprised I haven't even got shot for it yet. But somewhere down deep inside of me, I feel this motherfucker is going to inherit the team someday. Like they're that close, okay? And if Howie Roseman inherits this team from Jeffrey Lurie, I'm going to fucking flip. Like you have no idea. But, I mean, tell me, could you not honestly seeing that fucking happen, though? Jeffrey Lurie would hand this fucking team off to him. I guarantee it. Like you said, it's like his son.
Yep, I could see it. And I think that, Jeffrey Lurie's been one of the better owners in sports. But as of late, I don't like, it was time to hit the reset button. And that means clearing everything out. But you kept the one guy that has been a critical problem over the last couple of years and vocally admitted that at the end of last season. And for just, you could just see it. It's like in anything with a job or politics or, whatever, like it's really about who you know sometimes it is. So it's just, that is not, I don't agree with the decision to keep him. I still won't. I give him credit for making some good signings, but you always got to keep your guard up because, you don't know what Howie's going to do. He'll, hit you upside the head out of nowhere. So.
Yeah. Well, and dude, he survived 4 coaching changes. He's the only guy to ever do that. I mean, usually when you wipe away a coach, you wipe away the GM, and you start fresh. He survived 4. It's like that right there needs to tell you all you need to know. I mean, no. If you survive 4 coaching changes as bad as you've been, dude, you got it made in heaven. No lie.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's crazy because, he was even pushed to the closet by Chip Kelly, who I absolutely despise. And, he found his way back and, he really did help us. He Howie was a big contributor to helping his team win in 2017. I will never take like I'm a guy who's going to give credit where it's due. But at some point, even when you look at Doug Peterson, who was a Super Bowl coach, sometimes, and this is what I always say, it's not about a certain guy not being good at what they do or this or that. Sometimes the fit is just up. The time is just done, and you have to move on. And well, we did that in some areas, but not in others. So we'll see.
That's the only area. Literally, that's the only area.
Yeah, you're right.
So let's talk about this offensive line for a little bit. You know, other than Mailata, this is the same offensive line from the Super Bowl. You know, no lie, it is. What do you expect out of these guys this year? I truly think they're going to stay healthy. I mean, so far so good. Fingers crossed. You know, but what do you expect out of them? And are they a top 3 offensive line again?
Yeah. I mean, talent-wise, I think they're a great offensive line. I love the players on this line. And it's crazy. Like I said, you know, I'm becoming a bit of a different Eagles fan. Like, I have to look at it skeptical because of what has happened the last couple of years. Honestly, I can't say I have full belief in them staying healthy, as much as it hurts me to say, because I love Lane. I think Brandon Brooks was such an excellent signing. Jason Kelsey, I mean, everything he's done for this team. I just can't trust him to stay healthy until I see it for a full season. And it sucks because, you know, these guys are really good when they're on the field. But Brandon Brooks has had, 2 Achilles tears. Lane Johnson, I mean, had his ankle reconstructed. Kelsey's on the, you know, his last limb here. Like, it's probably going to be his last year. I just don't know. I don't know. I want them to stay healthy. I really do. But I'm a bit concerned about their health. I am. And I feel like we'll be revisiting it at some point this season. And not even just offensive line, but the Eagles, that's another problem we have is an injury problem, just overall. Yeah. We've had way too many injuries these last 4 years, just like an unfathomable amount. And I don't get it, man. Everybody is going down.
You know, I asked that question last month before this shit all even started. I said, we're either cursed, like we have a great Bambino curse on us or something. I don't know from who or what. We have shitty medical staff, or we are training way too hard and not resting enough, or resting too much and not training enough. Like there is a reason for it,
right?
But I just can't put my finger on it. You know what I mean? Like,
you're right.
I'm starting to truly think we're jinxed. Like, we are fucking cursed from someone. Like, it's been too long now, man. This is what, 3rd year, 4th year in a row with all this shit. Like, enough's enough, man. I'm so tired of it.
Looking at Philadelphia's history, like in a lot of aspects, I do feel we are cursed. And I mean, you know, I mean, there's way too many things we could be on here all day talking about it. Going back in history, like I'll just use a recent example. Like we had a coach that won the Super Bowl. We had a quarterback that looked like he was. I mean, I was the biggest Wentz supporter of them all. I mean, I was backing this guy. I bought his jersey in 2 colors. I was so excited. Like, yes, this guy is going to be our guy for the next 12 years. I was looking at all the Philly sports in 2017 saying we're all on the rise now. And look at where we are just 4 years later in every sport. Like, it's crazy, man. It really is. And it's unfortunate. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I just don't know what else it is, man.
And you're right.
I mean, it's not like we're sitting here drafting people who are made of glass.
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
and we had like 2 or 3 different medical staffs now in the last however many years. Like we've changed our medical staff, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's something to do with the training. And I mean, fingers crossed, we haven't had as many guys banged up so far this year, but. It's crazy because the last 3 years, I feel like week 14 rolls around and we have some 5th-string cornerback who I don't even know out on the field playing like a meaningful game. And it's like, it's just crazy, man.
And I mean, if nothing else tells you you're cursed, what's the fucking odds that our starting quarterback this year gets some sort of gastrointestinal fucking disease that no one even fucking knew about, and out of nowhere now it's like his season's in jeopardy if he has to get surgery. If
And,
that's not a fucking curse, I don't know what is. You know what I'm
and
saying? Like,
yeah, and I'll top you on that. How about your quarterback who gets injured every year of his professional career? He finally makes it to the playoffs without getting injured. And what does he do in the first quarter? He gets
knocked
injured.
out.
I mean,
It's bad, dude. It's really bad. And see, I'm laughing because I'm in so much pain.
yeah,
You know what I
it's a
mean? Like,
laughing pain.
I
Yeah.
don't even want to
Yep.
cry about it.
Nope. Nope. You don't know what else to do at this point. It's every
No.
single time, man.
I'm just happy it isn't Brooks or Johnson at this point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I hope they stay healthy, man. It's going to be tough, but I feel like I'm a bit worried about the offensive line. So,
Okay. How about this running back?
uh, I actually think Miles Sanders is going to have a huge year if they run the ball. That's a big if, because we can't resort to being pass happy, but I think Miles Sanders should be well rested. Last year, this guy was taken out of games by our coaching staff. I think Miles Sanders can gear up for a huge year, and some people seem to have lost that like faith in Miles Sanders. I don't get it.
Yeah.
The guy in his rookie year had 1,300 all-purpose yards. I mean, look at what he did last year, being limited, some games to 7 and 9 carries. The guy was getting in his rhythm. He had, 2 or 3 long touchdown runs. The guy showed me a lot, and he can catch out of the backfield. And we're not even – I think he could be a 3-down back, and we're not even using him like that. And we have a committee going, and I just think Miles Sanders should be well rested. I really do, and I'm not really too concerned about the running back room. I like Boston Scott as well. I've always loved that guy, and I think we'll be all right. I do.
Man, I've been on record many times saying it, and I'll continue to say it because I'm a Penn State fan. So I've seen Saquon and I've seen Miles. Are you getting feedback on your end? Because I am.
I didn't hear anything, no.
Okay, that's weird. So I believe Miles Sanders is just as talented as Saquon. Like I said, I've watched them both in college. I've watched them both in the NFL. Yes, Saquon Barkley is a generational talent. He is a monster. He will run you over. There's no question about it. But Miles, I say, is as talented as him, but he's on a whole nother aspect of it. He's the elusive part of Saquon. He's the non-contact, get through yeah, I get it. He's dropped some balls lately. I understand that, but still, Miles Sanders, there's more to him than what meets the eye. There really is. And if there is some way we can get these Miles to get his hands better to where he catches the ball and our O-line stays healthy, because it's like you said, last year, dude, he had 6.0 yards per carry up until the end of the year. He ended at 5.3 from 154 carries, I believe he had last year, something like that. It was stupid ridiculous how little he got. But he made all that work with that and a third string shift offensive line that wasn't even good, So you give him a good offensive line. You now give him Hurts for the whole year, hopefully. And he's another dynamic runner, so you have to take that into account. You have Smith, you have Watkins and Rager. You're not going to be able to cover everything. So I agree with you. I actually have, if it all works out, I have Miles Sanders beating LaShawn McCoy's 1,600-yard season this year.
It's obtainable. I think Sanders could have a huge year. I think it depends upon, again, the health of the offensive line, like you said. And it also depends on if we're going to run the ball enough. I can't really judge preseason off it, but tell you what, man, my motto is always let the run open up the pass. We have a lot of speed, especially on the outside now. And with our quarterback being a potential threat to run the ball as well, there's no reason that this offense can't explode if everything clicks. So I think Sanders could have a Pro Bowl season. I do agree with that.
Well, and that's the thing, too. I've been a little concerned over the last 2 preseason games because of the fact we're throwing the ball so much. It almost reminds me of Doug a little bit. Like where you said you were going to run, where's the run? Now, granted, I get it's preseason, and I hope the only reason that they're throwing the ball so much is because they know what they kind of have at halfback already. Like they know who Miles is, they know who Boston is, they know who carry on. He's gone. Kenneth Gainwell is, so they know that, and I feel that's why they're not running the ball so much because they're comfortable with what they already have there, and they're throwing the ball a lot because they need to figure out this wide receiver position. But still, in the end, though, I want to fucking see runs, man.
I agree.
No doubt.
I'm never opposed to even. I would even run the ball more than I throw it. Honestly, I would not be opposed to that because you have a young quarterback. You don't want him to get hurt. You want him to feel comfortable. And again, we keep running the ball. Guess what's going to happen? That defense, that moment that they decide to come up just a little bit, we have some speed demons on the outside. I don't feel like we had that before, or it wasn't really in its entirety. So. And Miles Sanders is a dog, man. Like you said, we drafted the guy in the second round. The guy showed us so much promise in year one, and people just seem to forget that out of nowhere. Yeah. Like just because, it would literally go about 2 quarters without running the ball, and we'd be like, "What are you doing right now?" And it's just, I don't know, man. We have a really good young core in the backfield, so.
Well, and that's the thing. I like to put it as like kind of building a house because I used to build houses before I broke my back. But Howie Roseman, he built an excellent foundation. Right now with the core young players that we have and even the vets, the foundation for years to come is set. The only thing is you can't fuck up the walls as you build it or it's going to come crumbling down. And that's exactly what happened in Doug's era. Now, hopefully we got smarter and we learned our lesson from Doug, and now this time we won't mess up. But with what we have in Smith, Watkins, Rager, Miles, Hurts, Goddard, Rodgers, even Tyree Jackson at this point, you got to kind of throw him in there a little bit too. This is a solid foundation to build off of. It really is. You just can't fuck it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And, it's just... You also, I feel like that was the problem as well, in addition to, they admitted it themselves. They said, we tried to run it back too many times. You got to know when to hit. You got to know when your window is. Now, I don't think we're going to be a Super Bowl team this year, but if everything goes right, why can't we be in 2 years? We have, like you said, we laid the foundation. Then it's going to be about seeing what we can do. Are the coaches in place right? And then you got to hit on the final touches, So, you're right. We have a lot of young talent. So I'm excited to see them this year, but I want to see how the coaching staff uses them, and I want to see if the coaching staff is enabled to do what they want to do. So.
Yeah. And I made the comment like last month and before all this shit happened too. I don't even know where I stand right now on my record. Like I've been on record many of times saying we get 11 or 12 wins this year. Because I hold my team to a higher standard. Whether or not I believe they're going to win 4, I want them to win 12. Because we're the fucking Eagles, baby. There is no bottom. We only are up here, So, but the thing is, though, I just feel that Howie's kind of reconstructing this team a little bit, how he did in 16 and 17. And I'll go through it for you a little bit because we've never got the chance to talk about this. So I want your take on it. Harris is your Malcolm Jenkins, okay? Wilson is your Nigel Bradham or Jordan Hicks. Singleton and Wilson is your Nigel Bradham, Jordan Hicks type thing. And then Nelson is your Ronald Darby. Kerrigan is your Chris Long. Smith is your who was the guy we had in 17 that got his leg broke? Huh? No, the other one. Torrey Smith. Devontae Smith is Torrey Smith. Your long, lanky wide receiver, very fast, good hands. I was going to say Fulgham is your Alshon, but because Fulgham has really been slacking lately, I don't even know if he's going to be out there to start. It might just be Smith, Watkins, and Rager. I don't know. But Fulgham could be your Alshon Jeffrey. And, so it kind of seemed like he was building this team to emulate what he was doing in 17, just with different younger players. But, and then next year he's going to ramp it up because that's when we have 40, 50 million, So what's your take on that? Do you kind of see what I'm talking about? Like he's trying to emulate it a little bit, or do you think he's just going way different this year time?
I definitely think he's taking a similar approach. I think you're right in that aspect. At the same time, I don't think it's necessarily close to what we had because,
No.
we don't have enough experience yet. And that just comes with time. And, your young guys have to nurture. If anything, similar to 2016 before we really made that jump, I could definitely see that comparison. But the big question in order is really what is our quarterback? Like what is he going to be? Because without a good quarterback, I just you can't win without a good quarterback in the NFL. Like you're not going to luck into a Super Bowl, and I've been saying that. And I want to give Jalen Hurts a chance because I think he deserves it. He was put in a terrible situation that wasn't his fault, and he deserves to at least have a chance to prove himself. With that being said, the Eagles in 2017, whether we want to admit it or not, in my opinion, had a lot of just luck and destiny, really. That's the best way I could put it. Like, the Eagles were not losing a game. We could have played 5 more games in those playoffs in 2017. We were just not losing. Nick Foles had the magic touch. Everything just worked out. But I definitely agree with you that, he's taking a similar approach. Now, we do have a lot of guys on one-year deals. We have other guys that have, they're in question. Like, are they going to make it past this year? That's why I think after this year, I think you're right. Like, you cut loose ends. If it goes right, you make a couple big splashes next year. And depending on what happens with the quarterback situation, if Hurts does pan out, we'll be in really good line next year to really make a deeper run. And then the last thing I'll say in terms of the record, I've been the same way, but I'm sorry, man. Like people might hate me this year for this, but I still feel like a fool from last year because I really did think this team was going to win 11 games last year. And I lived or died by that. And I just got made out to be a fool from it. And I'm just not going to expect anything yet. So I really think we'll be around a 7-win team. That's where I have us right now. But I think it'll be a good kind of transitioning point, similar to how 2016 was. So hopefully we can make that leap.
I've been saying for a long time, man, even if Jalen Hurts has a bad year this year, you don't move on from this kid. All right, because I don't know where it all got twisted. I'm not sure where all Eagle fans started to think that you need an MVP quarterback to win a Super Bowl. I don't know where that gets twisted. You don't need Tom Brady on the Eagles. You don't need Pat Mahomes on the Eagles to win a fucking Super Bowl. You don't. All you need Jalen Hurts to do is be a game manager, be effective, and not screw up. And that's how you win. So this year, if you haven't built a stable team around him, then next year you go and get a little more pieces. And now, when I mean stable team, I'm not just talking about offense, because what some people fail to realize is that defensive side of the ball is just important as his offense. And who's to say that him losing this year isn't because of other things? So you got to ride with this kid. I'm not willing to give up draft capital for a quarterback when we have so many other holes to fill on this team other than a quarterback. I feel if you build around Jalen Hurts, he'll get you where you need to go. He just might need more tools to do it, but what's wrong with that? I'd rather have a mediocre quarterback who doesn't mess up and can make things happen out of the blue and have superstar wide receivers, superstar offensive line, halfback, all that stuff that goes great. He can make it work. You don't need Deshaun Watson. You don't need any of these guys. So, yeah. What do you say?
In my personal opinion, I think you need a pretty good quarterback. I don't think they have to be Tom Brady-esque. But you're right. Like, when you look at last year, for example, in the Super Bowl, right? Like, that defense was cutthroat. Like, it wasn't Pat Mahomes' fault that Kansas City got blown like that. But guess what? Yeah. That defensive line was just shredding them apart, and there was nothing he could do. So I agree. Like, and even if you build the team around Jalen Hurts better, then even if Jalen doesn't work, guess what? You just got to plug that hole. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I think that that's where I get this worry that comes in. People like to run people out of this town, but the guy in charge, and this is what I'm saying, like Howie Roseman is a problem. He is. because he literally paid a quarterback that looked like an MVP caliber player. He paid him, and then he drafted a quarterback in the second round. There were so many mixed signals, and everything collapsed after that. Now,
Yeah.
when I say that, that'll never be the right pick. Jalen Hurts will never be justified for that second round pick. But I'm not ready to throw Jalen Hurts out in the trash. The guy played 4 games. He was brought into the worst situation you can be brought into as a young quarterback. He started in week, 12, 13? Like, that is and at the same time, he's got the Philly media and he's got everybody breathing down his neck. And the kid actually stayed pretty composed. I know he went 1-3 and he missed some throws, but I saw some flashes of a kid that could be young and electric, if he stays healthy. So I don't get the notion where people are ready to just cut him off. Why? I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
I don't either, man. And that's the funny thing about it. You bring that up. This is how effective he was. He's the first quarterback in NFL history, the first, to have over 950 passing yards and 250 rushing yards. Not even Lamar Jackson, Cam Newton, Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb, Randall Cunningham, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, and Josh Allen. Any of these guys have done that. None of them.
He did a lot. He really did. I mean, and we saw flashes from everywhere. And
yeah,
I just don't
like
get
that stuff. You have to take into accountability, man. And not just that, but he broke that record and is the only one to have that record with what fucking team?
Mm-hmm.
Who did he have?
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine if you give him shit, what he's gonna do.
Exactly. And let's not forget about the play calling as well. Like, Doug's play calling was horrendous. We were barely rolling the guy out, and he was fighting for his life back there behind an offensive line. I mean, we broke so many records with how many offensive line combinations that we threw out there last year.
14 of 16.
Right. And every week, yeah. And we weren't even rolling the guy out. It was crazy. So at that point, like, you really have to think about this yourself sometimes. Like, it gets really frustrating when people, after 1 or 2 games, are ready to exile a second-round pick. Even though it will never be the right pick, this is what we're working with here. Like, this is a second-round pick. And I don't know. This is why I try to stay away from the common thought when it comes to Eagles, man, because I'm just starting to see it real clear. Like, this is where we're at.
No, I 100% agree with you, because that argument brings up the whole Zach Ertz thing. I love Zach Ertz. I'm a huge supporter. This guy, this is his home. Philly is his home. He loves Philly. He bleeds for this fucking city. Him and his wife, they represent us very well. And 1 year makes him bad? Because he has 1 bad year of 8 years, he's automatically trash now, and let's get rid of him? Like, he can still be fucking effective in this offense. I mean, you even heard Jalen Hurts himself say, I want him. He's a security blanket for me. When your quarterback is out there saying that, that's not the guy you trade away.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. He's 32, I guess, or whatever. And he's older, but so's Kels. Yeah, Kels is a lot, like, his stats don't compare. I get it, but still, Ertz is effective.
I agree. Let me give you my thoughts, and I want to hear what you think. When it comes to the Zach Ertz thing, if you remember earlier, I said sometimes it's not about the guy not being good anymore. It's just about the situation and, like, does he still fit there? And honestly, I think Zach Ertz has a lot of good football left in him. Like, I don't think he's bad at all. I don't know where people make this up. Like, the guy can't play anymore. Like you said, he's in his young 30s. Like, the guy can still catch balls. He will go down to me as one of the greatest Eagles tight ends, and he helped us win a Super Bowl, and I'm forever grateful for him. But honestly, the people in charge and the coaching staff messed it up. They did. Because you had we could talk about drafting Dallas Goedert in the second round too. That's another thing. I mean, when you have Zach Ertz in his prime, that's a whole other conversation. But, I think Zach Ertz had to be moved because Howie and Jeffrey Lurie and Doug with whoever made the decision to kind of really make him unhappy. Now, I get not paying him the top dollar and all, right away. But you had to make a decision because you drafted a guy in the second round or you had to pay Zach Ertz top dollar. And I don't think it's been fair to Zach Ertz with what and now he has to come back to this situation and maybe be a backup tight end. The dude's trying to make a bag. He's trying to make a whole another big contract. And that's just where I'm saying, like, it almost feels to me like the fit has exhausted itself, but it's not even Zach Ertz's fault this time. It's the organization's fault. And it sucks, man. Because I didn't want to have this ending with Zach Ertz. I wanted it to be a storybook, go out as one of the greatest Eagles. And he will, but it won't be the same because of everything that happened last year.
No, I agree. I want Ertz to be selling. I want him to retire here. I want him to leave here, But that's the thing. And I brought this up to Foothills like a couple weeks ago because I truly tried to sit down and try and figure this all out because it is mind-boggling how this all is done. But what I want people to realize is Ertz's game was affected, whether you want to believe it or not, by Carson Wentz's debacle last year. All right? Yeah. Because here's the thing. If I'm Carson Wentz and RB is Zach Ertz, and we're best friends, we talk every day, and he knows everything about my personal life, and now next thing you know, I'm slamming and boxing with the owner and the GM about how good I am and blah, 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 and what's going on and everything. You don't think for 1 second that did not affect Zach Ertz's mentality and play style on that field? Because I guarantee you, whether or not you want to believe it, Zach Ertz knew everything that was going on with Carson Wentz all last year. He knew it because they're best friends. That takes a mental toll on somebody, especially when the organization is doing your best friend wrong. Well, that's going to piss you off a little bit, So now that Carson is out of here, you see Ertz come back with a whole new look, blonde hair, everything. To me, that's Ertz's way of telling everyone in Philly, I'm a new person. I'm not that Wentz guy. This is me. I'm back for me. I'm not here for Wentz. I'm not here for Kels. I'm here for me. He changed his look because he wanted to change who he was and feel different about himself rather than what it was last year. That's the way I look at this situation. You want to put Ertz off into a corner and say he sucks, you go right ahead. But there was way more to credit for his downfall last year than just, he played fucking bad. No, it wasn't that he just played bad. He played bad because he mentally wasn't fucking there. Right. What's your take on that?
I agree. I think everything just kind of turned downhill after that draft pick of Jalen Hurts. I really do, and I feel like it was a domino effect through the organization, and especially when you have a Super Bowl head coach who ends up, there's a lot of reports, but my feeling is that Doug got tired of being told what to do, and I understand that. Like you have a Super Bowl under your record in a couple years. I mean, you don't want to be getting told what to do from the higher ups all the time. And that's actually a good take on Zach Ertz. I never thought about it that way. But you're right. And I just don't – Zach Ertz does not suck at football. He still has a lot left to give. But, again, it goes back to another organizational mistake. Like, if you brought Dallas Goedert in here. You didn't bring him in the 5th round. You brought him in the 2nd. Which means that he was going to be a future player for you, and you knew you were going to have to make that decision at some point. And honestly, I knew last year when I heard about the shouting, rumors of Zach Ertz and Howie Roseman, and just I knew it wasn't going to play out the best. I didn't think it was going to go that far, like turn to complete turmoil. But it just goes in line with everything else that happened. And you're right, with Carson Wentz, Zach Ertz saw the writing on the wall, and that's the thing I don't get. Like, he was gone. He literally came out crying to a press conference. It was over. So what? Like, this is the sick part about Howie Roseman. He's literally
it is, isn't it?
Zach Ertz is in line. He wants a $30 million contract, 40, 50, whatever you want to give him at this point. But he's not going to get it because of Howie Roseman using him. That's what he's doing. He's trying to build his value up because you know what? These guys have big egos. And Howie's thinking back to 2 years ago, and he said, damn, remember what I could have got for Zach Ertz? I could have got anything I wanted. And now I'm settling, for a 6th-round pick? I'm not going to do that. I don't have enough pride to do that. So that's kind of where I'm at on that.
I got 2 here for you. One, well, actually, the one isn't a question. But, no, I've said that multiple times, man. Like, no lie. I feel that Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert could make a great combination. But I'm going to sit here and say this. If you wanted to get rid of Zach Ertz at any moment, at any time, it was right after he won that Super Bowl. 2018, if you wanted to get rid of Zach Ertz, then that's when you should have traded him.
But do you also think it was right to bring Dallas Goedert in as a second-round pick in 2018?
No.
If Zach
No, at least not that early. If you wanted a tight end, you should have waited till like the 5th, 6th round.
Right, exactly. Because if you just had a tight end that really was a contributor and winning that Super Bowl, and you thought he was at his peak, like we never really realized it at the time. But Goddard got better. He looked really good. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but like,
No, you're fine.
You can't pay them both. You just can't. So,
in all honesty, my guy, I believe that Howie did that just to piss Dallas off. That was all just to piss Dallas off move because he knew that they wanted Dallas Goedert. And I believe it was a strategical move by Howie to make them shittier because, they just lost, what's his face, the tight end they used to have.
Jason
Witten. So they knew that they needed a tight end. Well, they knew Dallas Goedert was going to be good. Well, what's better than to fuck Dallas by moving in front of them and taking him when we didn't even need him to begin with? But it's the fact that they needed him that we took him.
That makes sense. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, I mean, we saw how that bit us, where the next year, but
yeah,
it was just, we didn't really realize it at the time, but again, this we have missed on a lot of draft picks, and now we're at a point where it almost seems like Ertz. We don't know what we're going to get from him, but then again, do we know what we're going to get from Dallas Goedert? We don't because the kid showed a lot of flashes, but there's just too many. There's too many alphas. You know what I mean? You got to make a decision, and now they don't want to, in my opinion, because they don't want to. They don't want to look like fools for giving the guy up for a 5th round pick, and he'll probably go somewhere else and contribute right away. So it's like, what do you do at this point? And you don't want to give Ertz the long-term contract because, he might not play up to that. So who knows?
I got to ask you a question. I just thought of just now. Say Ertz does come out and he balls out this year. I mean, fucking balls out like he used to. It was just a fluke last year. Everything's good, comes out, balls out. And Howie Roseman, because we have $40-50 million in caps, gives him that fucking contract. What will you do? I mean, how will you react? Because you literally just made this grown-ass man cry at the end of the year, forced him to stay on this team, and then you pay him. Like, that's kind of messed up. But
yeah, I would hope that would not happen. If it did, I would call it another huge organizational mistake, and it wouldn't surprise me coming from Howie Roseman, because then you'd be even in a worse predicament. And like you said, you just made him cry, and it's up. That would be the perfect. Hopefully, he would learn again from his mistakes and say, all right, now his value is high again. Let me move him this time. But I don't know. It's just going to be a weird. Zach Ertz, I don't think he's going to be on the team at the end of the year. That's what I think. I think at some point he gets moved. Maybe when someone needs him closer to the trade deadline. But
I was already thinking that, man. I truly believe how he is doing this is he's hoping for another Sam Bradford trade, where maybe Kels or Kittle or one of these guys go down like here in the next week or two, or even before week 4. And you know what? He can just sit there and be like, I got somebody.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's the game he's playing, man. And if he's playing that, that's a dangerous game to play. It is, because it's not a guarantee. So, but that's what I feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or he's going to let him walk, and that'll look even worse. So, I don't know, man. Just another bad, just bad decision. And it sucks. It sucks that we can't keep both of them. And Zach Ertz will forever go down as a great Eagle. But, remember why we're here, guys. This is what I'm talking about. Tight ends, quarterback, drafting terrible. I mean, people seem to forget that recently. But I'm not.
So let's move on from the negative aspect, at least. And let's move on to this wide receiver core. How do you see it lining up week 1?
Man, I guess Devontae. Jalen, and Quez Watkins. Jalen Rieger, Quez Watkins. I guess those three. I've been one to say we should sign a veteran wide receiver just to kind of give some experience. Not a guy that's going to play, a lot of snaps, but I guess that's what we're going to run with, and we'll see what happens. We'll trust the young guys, but.
Bro, I am with you, man. Man, we should have been doing this a lot sooner. I've been saying Larry Fitzgerald for a fucking month, my guy. I would love to see Larry Fitzgerald come in. He is a free agent. He'd only need 10 plays a game, if that. I mean, he barely did anything last year for Arizona. You're only bringing him in for the mental standpoint to help these guys, teach them, whatever they need. Like, he can do it. I mean, Fitzgerald's been doing it better than anyone for 18 years. So yeah. I truly feel he would have been awesome just for the veteran presence in our locker room.
Yeah, you need a vet like that, and you need, I don't really trust a second-year Jalen Rieger to be the most experienced guy on the wide receiver core. Like, I just don't trust that at all. I think we have a lot of young talent, but you need a guy that's going to be able to go in there and catch a ball and make a play, and just knows how, like in certain situations. So I agree.
How did you feel whenever talks of Alshon started coming about here a couple of weeks ago as a veteran wide receiver? Because I know I hung my head. I was like, there's no way you're doing this shit again. You're not going to JP us with a wide receiver. Ain't happening.
Yeah, I didn't really make anything of it because, like you said, it's not happening. Alshon's not coming back here. His time here is definitely up. He's banged up way too much. Another thing that just went downhill, but we need an experienced vet like you said, a Larry Fitz type of player like that, just on a 1-year deal. That would be really good for this core, but don't know if they're going to do it. So we'll see.
Yeah. Defensive line. We were third in sacks last year with 49. In my eyes, this defensive line only improved from last year. I mean, Kerrigan is an upgrade to even Chris Long. I believe Kerrigan has a few more years left, and not just that, but I don't think he is as washed as what Chris Long was coming in. I think he still has a lot more. The only reason he's not playing in Washington is because you have 2 premier pass rushers, so they weren't going to keep him. I mean, that's a given. But, I'm still on board with Derek Barnett. I have not jumped off that train. The only 2 trains I have jumped off of is Dillard and JJ, just like you. They're kind of the 2 but Barnett, I get it. I'm a little sour because having a first-round pick as a rotation piece sucks. I mean, that's tough to swallow. But like I said, though, if Sweat is in there because he's going to guarantee us or give us the best chance of winning, I'm all for it. And Barnett is definitely a good second pick for that spot. But, yeah, man, I say we could have over 50 sacks this year. Easy. So what do you think of this defensive line, and how far do you think they'll actually go?
I love the defensive line, just like I do every year. I think we have a lot of talent, and I think people get lost in that sometimes and forget about it. The only concern I have comes with coaching, because the last however many years, I mean, I don't know, this is probably the thing I've screamed at my TV the most, but, blitz, man, send some pressure. You can't rely on these guys on one-on-ones all the time, especially with Fletch getting doubled. And, send some pressure, man. Disguise some things on defense. I hope our new coordinator is able to do that, Jonathan Gannon. But in terms of just, like, raw talent, we have a really talented line. Now, who knows what's going to happen with BG after this year? Who knows what's going to happen with Derek Barnett? But this is a prove-it year. We're not Super Bowl contenders this year, but we can be a pretty good underdog team. So come out and play hungry, man. And like you said, I think we could be a top 5 defensive line. Easy. I really do. And some of the rotation players you mentioned, even a guy we drafted in the 3rd round, like Milton Williams, could come out and show some people. But yeah, man. And Kerrigan, I think Kerrigan's going to haunt Washington. I do. Because he kind of got done dirty there. Not really his fault. Not their fault. They drafted so many D linemen that were just good. But I think we're going to have a good D-line with good sets as well, like good rotations, just like we did 4 years ago. That helped us win a Super Bowl. So I'm excited.
I told Foothills the other day, my guy. I told him, I said, listen, man. I said both Washington games, I would be sitting Sweat and Barnett, and I would just fucking put Kerrigan in there and let him just run ape shit on that offense. Like, do you know how much energy and motivation he's gonna have to go up against that team to prove them all fucking wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, Sweat and Barnett will never have the determination that he will in those two games. Like, that is the two games that he should start.
Yeah,
At
and
least
we've seen it. We've seen it firsthand too. We've seen it
yeah.
firsthand. Every time we play Washington, this guy absolutely rips us apart. So, I mean, I could,
Yeah.
like you said, he must be hungry to show them what they lost.
And let's be honest, their offensive line ain't that good, so it's not like he's going to have to work hard to get to Fitzpatrick at all.
Yeah, I agree.
So I am very intrigued with Milton Williams, though, man. And we do have some aging vets on this team, defensive line wise. Do you say this is Cox and BG's last year with the Eagles? Like after the season's over, not before, obviously, but at the end of the season. Do you think this is their final, like, hallelujah, I'm gone ride for us? And even Kelsey, we'll add Kelsey into that too.
I think it could be for any of them. I think it will be for at least two of them. I don't know about Fletch because he's making a lot of money, and Fletch still has a lot to give. But Jason Kelsey, I definitely think this is his last ride. I thought he was going to be gone. And BG, I love BG, man. He's such a professional. He's my guy, and he's going to help them guys a lot. So hopefully, another player can come in and take over that reign. We want it to be Derek Barnett. Who knows? But I think anybody could be expendable. I really do mean that. Any of these vets, depends what direction we're going in for next year. But yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, no, I agree with you. BG is my favorite guy out of that whole defensive line. Like, I love Cox, don't get me wrong, but dude, BG's energy, he's always smiling, he's always joking, having fun. Like, when we lose BG, man, we're going to lose a lot to that defensive front. Like, there's no lie. He brings almost all the energy to that defensive front. So that's going to be a big lot. That's almost like the Panthers losing Kuechly,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because he brought the heart and soul to that defense, and look what happened when he left. So that's going to go ahead.
Nah, I was just going to add, look what happened when Malcolm Jenkins left. That was the worst letting them walk type of thing ever. I know Jenkins didn't start off the year well, and he didn't have necessarily as good of a year as he might have in Philly. But you know what? He was the heart and soul of the defense. You lose more than just what you see on the field. And I agree. BG is going to be just like that.
Yeah. Linebackers. A lot of people are giving us shit about our linebackers. And I'm okay with that because I believe they are a little bit underrated. I expect a lot out of Sean Bradley and Davion Taylor. I was high on these guys when we drafted them. I liked them both. Now, I know Taylor is probably more ready now, but I believe Sean Bradley has the higher upside of both of them. I really like Wilson and I really like Singleton. I mean, if those two alone can duplicate what they did last year, that's 250 tackles between both of them. Just between those two. That's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just those two. Then imagine what everyone else has. So if they can duplicate that, I'm like, hey, that's a win. But I need to see it out of Bradley and Taylor, and I believe we will, man. These two are dogs. And I even like Jacoby Stevens. So there's a lot of raw talent right there, man. Like, talk to me about it. Let's hear it.
Man, this is where you might hate me, but I've been the biggest advocate for the last however many years. Go get a linebacker. Draft one in the first round if you have to. I'm tired of the Eagles neglecting the linebacker position because it's so important. You need a guy that can go all over the field. And I'm not ready to say Taylor, Bradley, Singleton, any of them are ready yet. I want to see it. And it's just, I think the linebacker core will be the weakest part of our defense. But that's not a bad thing because I think our defense is going to be pretty good. But when it comes to our linebackers, man, just like we said earlier, like it's a dog-eat-dog type of thing, Go out and earn your minutes – or, sorry, your snaps. Go out and earn your playing time. Davion Taylor, I mean, we had the guy strictly on special teams last year. Like, what was that about? I don't know if that was more coaching, if that was him not playing football till he was 15 years old. I don't know. Sean Bradley's a dog. Wilson's a
Yeah.
dog. Singleton is impressive right now, but they got to
Right.
stay healthy, man. And I hope they pan out. I do, because I'm tired of seeing bad linebacker play here, and it seems like the guys that we let them go. We let I don't care what anybody says. We let Kendricks go too early. Bradham, we know how that thing worked out. I feel like we let him go when we shouldn't have. So, and those guys were never top tier. We haven't had a top tier linebacker since Jeremiah Trotter, who was one of my favorite Eagles ever. But we need a dog like that. We need a Wagner. We need a Kuechly. We need a player like that. I don't think any of these guys are that. But if they can just do their role, surrounded by what else is on the defense, we'll see what happens.
Would you bring in a linebacker like KJ Wright? Like, I heard rumors about that, about maybe that is a possibility for us, another veteran. Absolutely. Now, I do believe that might delay Bradley and Taylor's development, because if you bring in KJ Wright, pretty much that you're not going to be using Bradley and Taylor over those other three. You know what I mean? So that might delay that, but I don't mind KJ Wright. I mean, the way I look at this is we only have two actual drop back coverage linebackers, and that's Wilson and Singleton. Right. Singleton isn't even that good at coverage, but he can do it. And he has that pick six in the 49er game last year. So he has showed that he can do it, but he's not like the best. And neither is Wilson. But everyone else that we have is rushing linebackers, blitzing linebackers. And I'm okay with that. But what are you going to do when we get in passing situations? I mean, are you just going to completely rush the linebackers every time? Like, is that the plan? So KJ Wright would kind of solidify that pass coverage a little bit more, I believe. But, do you have any ideas? I mean, other than him, or?
I haven't. I really don't have any ideas, because I haven't thought about it, because I just don't view us as doing it, because we just never do. Yeah. But at some point, I would love a veteran linebacker to come in. But who knows? Who knows with this team? We just don't seem to care about the linebacker enough. And a couple of guys that were solid that we kind of let go. And to your point about blitzing, we didn't even blitz that much. So we found ourselves in bad situations, but I like what I'm seeing so far. Singleton, I love his effort, man. And that's another thing. Like, the thing I get most frustrated about with the Eagles is the lack of tackling. Even if Alex Singleton doesn't make the tackle, he's going to go full head of steam every time. That's all I want to see, man. I mean, we just can't look silly out there, so.
Not just that, guys, but you guys on defense. You realize you're being outplayed by a Canadian Football League player right now, right? Like, we didn't even draft this guy. We got him from the Canadian Football League. Y'all got drafted. You need to step up your fucking games.
Exactly.
Like, no lie.
Exactly. It's all about will, man. It's all about will. And, we've had a lot of bad linebackers, so.
Yeah, man, I miss the 2000s, the early 2000s, man. I really do. Dawkins, Trotter, yeah, oh my God.
Yeah, you need the
it's
linebacker.
So sick to just even think back then, man.
Yeah, you need a guy that's going to set the tone on your defense.
Where did we go wrong? Where did we start saying linebackers and corners and safeties don't matter anymore, dude? We used to have two lockdown corners. We used to have two great linebackers, great safeties. Like, you could not touch us. And now it's just like, we don't fucking care anymore. Like, where did we go wrong? Where did the game go wrong to where we're like, all right, linebackers and corners don't matter anymore? Please let me know, because as far as I know, it's a passing league these days.
Yep, it is. And you're right. I don't know. I really don't know. It seems like we always go either offense or in the trenches. We need a linebacker. We do. We need a guy to set the tone on the defense. And, we just need that guy who's just going to rack it up every year and just hit somebody hard. And that's why I used to love Malcolm, because that's what he did for the defense every game. Never missed a snap. So.
Yeah. No, dude, I miss our old defense. I really do. And I hope that JG can kind of bring that old defense back, that hard smash hit you in the mouth type defense. And from first preseason, I did kind of see that, from our first team. No sooner did a wide receiver catch the ball as 2 steps, we were there plowing into him. That's what I like to see. That's old school style Eagles football. But
Yep.
then last night happened.
Yeah.
Or not last night, but 2 nights ago happened. And it's like, where was that first game?
Yeah.
It's hard to wrap your head around it. It really is.
Yeah. That was tough. It really was. We just had no effort, man. And I don't even think I'm gonna watch the next preseason game because that was just disgusting. Like, I'm ready for week 1, man. Everybody can
Right.
keep talking about the camp. I'm ready for week 1. Show me what's going to be on the field. Show me the product, Like, we'll see.
So corners. We have Big Play Slay. We have Nelson. We have Maddox. I like McPherson and I like Scott as well for the backups behind them. Now, I told Mike last night, I made it, well, it never was sealed, but I told him, I said, I'll make you a bet. Because we were doing those hot takes last night, just goofing off and being controversial, because we can. But I told him, I said, Avonte Maddox will have the most interceptions on our defense this year. And the deal was that he has to do a show with me once a week. Because they're out here betting hundreds of dollars and shit. And I'm like, yeah, I got 2 kids. I can't be doing that shit. But I'll
Right.
bet you a stream. So out of these corners, man, like I think Maddox in the slot, that's his natural position. That'll be better for him. He's not on the outside. He's on the inside. He's a smaller guy, but he's fast. I believe, yeah, Nelson has been getting burned. I understand, but I don't think he's going to be bad as our number 2. He's going to be way better than what we could have had. I'll tell you that. And then Slay, he's going to be Slay. I expect him to probably have 5 interceptions this year, especially if the defense is exactly what I think it's going to be. Slay thrives in that kind of defense. So,
Yes.
What's your take on these corners, man? And who do you like backing them up behind them?
I really like our secondary. It's actually the part of the team I'm most excited about because I feel like we finally addressed it for once. Our secondary, like Slay's a monster, man. I love Darius Slay, and I think he was wrongly kind of given this notion last year of being a bad corner. No, he had to go up against the best receivers, and he made some pretty good plays, and sometimes the ball just didn't bounce his way. But, and now you add Steven Nelson. I'm excited. I feel like we have 2 corners that can hold it down consistently. We didn't have that before. I was never big on Jalen Mills, Rasul Douglas, name any of the other ones. They just were not solidified corners. It's just the truth of it. You can draw to their personality, but they just weren't good corners. I really like Avonte. Now he proved that, he's not going to be an outside corner. I hope he can take over that slot corner. McPherson obviously showed he's not ready yet, and a couple of these other guys, just to me, are not ready yet. So I hope those 3 can hold it down. In terms of the backups, I don't know. I feel like we'll see if it comes to that point, but I have full belief in Slay and Nelson on the outside. And I think for once we can actually, go a game without getting beat for a 40-yard touchdown. Like, I'm excited about it. I don't even know if they're going to throw the ball Slay's way, but then again, they might have to because you got Steven Nelson now on the other side, not Rasul Douglas. So,
yeah, man. No, and that's the thing, because to top off the secondary, safeties, you have Harris. I'm a huge Kayvon Wallace supporter, man. Like, that is my guy. I freaking love this kid. It's so bad, dude, that, no lie, when Bird Gang had his raffle at 500 and stuff, and I did not get any cards. And then he brought up the Kayvon Wallace card, right? I was like, dude, I get this card. I said, you might as well just send it to me. I said, I'm the biggest supporter of this guy. I love this kid from the moment we drafted him, everything. Like, he's just awesome. Wouldn't you know, I won that fucking card. It was destined to be, because I'm his hugest supporter. I believe Jonathan Gannon's system is going to benefit this kid ridiculously. All right? They're free roaming safeties. He literally lets you do whatever you want to do in this system. he's letting you go off eyes, and that's one thing Kayvon Wallace has is he has good eyes. He can read a quarterback. He can read everything. And I believe him not playing stiff, and he can literally move wherever the hell he wants at any moment, at any time. That is going to benefit him dramatically. And I actually think Kayvon takes that away from McLeod.
Yeah.
I won't lie.
Yeah.
I like Epps. I like he's a good piece there, a solid rotation piece, however the heck you want to use him. And like I said, Harris is there, and then is Graylin Arnold the other one, or is he a corner?
He's a corner. He's a corner.
Who's the other one that is it
Um,
Bailey or something? There's another safety I'm missing. I forget. But
Jaquette? Or no, he's a corner.
yeah. I don't know. There is another one though. So that just shows right there he's probably not making the team because we can't think of his name.
Yeah.
But I really like the safety position, man. I think Harris was a great pickup. I think JG is going to have him playing better than what he did last year. He'll probably get him back to his 2018 form when he had 8 interceptions and led the league that year. Hopefully, I'm praying for that.
Yeah.
But Kayvon is the piece to all of this, I believe. If Kayvon comes out here and he does what he says he can do, and he talks a lot, and I love that about him. I love it. When you got in Cam Newton's ear and you threw them all off in practice, I was laughing, bro. I love that shit. Like, keep it up. I want that. 2 BGs on our defense, man. Holy crap, that'd be awesome. But how do you feel about these guys? And do you feel that will be a stronger position for us this year, our safety core?
Yeah, like I said, I'm really excited about the secondary. I think that is the key to us winning a few more games. Like I think we finally solidified that up. If hopefully Kayvon can step up and be that guy, like you said, I love that Philly toughness, but I just have a lot more belief now. Now, we've brought in other guys before, they haven't worked out, but I don't know. I just see it being led by Slay and Harris at safety, and I just think it brings an element of toughness that we were lacking. And with Kayvon and stuff, like I just hope they stay healthy. That's what I hope. And I think our secondary is much improved. It's the most underrated part on our team. And I think it's going to, help us lock down on defense. I'm excited to see them. I really am.
I am too, man. I am. That's why I'm with you. I probably won't even do a preseason stream next week. I don't want to watch any more of that shit. I'm ready for week 1. Bring it on. Let's get football started. I'm tired of this shit.
Yeah. No stream for me next week. Not happening.
I feel you, man. I don't think I could go through that shit again. And the bad part is I had Mitch and Vic 3 holding down my stream till I got back because I had something I had to do that came up last minute that I didn't realize. And then I come back and I hear the news. I'm like, wow, I made you all sit through all that. I feel so bad for you.
It was terrible. I'm just, no more camp talk. No more. No more. We saw this guy here. We'll see what happens week 1. That's what I'm ready for.
Wait, are you saying that's the score of the Bears-Bills game? 41-15? Who? I hope you say the Bills. My God. Yeah, so like I said, man, I do appreciate you coming on here and chatting with me. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. You're definitely one of the guys I look up to on YouTube here. I watch your stuff. I might not comment all the time, but I like kind of sitting back, Yeah. But in all honesty, though, man, I want 2 breakout players from you. It can be rookies. It can be vets. 2 from the offense, 2 from the defense. In your heart, what you feel. I don't want to hear what other people want to. I want to know what RB feels.
So you said 2 from the offense and 2 from the defense.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Offense, one of them will be maybe obvious, maybe not. But I think I really do. Like I tweeted this out the other day. I haven't had this much faith in a young wide receiver like I do Devontae Smith. Like I really do believe he's the next thing here. That is, he's going to live up to the hype. He's going to live over the hype. That's what I really feel in terms of Devontae Smith. I just think he's that good. The other guy, I would go with a running back, but I'm actually going to go outside the box here. I'm going to go left tackle. I think my lot is going to be really good. I think he's going to be really good because, I've been saying this since last year when he got sat for no reason. I made a video about it. People were saying, "Oh, Jason Peters isn't going to come back in. He's not going to come back in and play." Guess what he did? You know why? Because he's making more money, and it's sad. But I think my lot is going to solidify up the left side of the line. I really do. I do. No more Jason Peters, so I'll go outside the box.
Can I give you a hot take on him real quick?
Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Mailata doesn't give up a single sack all year long.
I wouldn't be surprised. If a dude that can comprehend football this quickly, I think is unbelievable. I really do.
Well, and I say that because here's the thing, and this is the way I look at it. Dillard is a very small man. Okay? He's what, 6'2", 6'3". He's nowhere near Mailata. Okay? He's nowhere near as strong as Mailata. Here's the thing. If Mailata, being 6'8", 350 or whatever the hell he is, he's very strong and he's very fast for how big he is. If Dillard gets beat, he's beat. There is no ifs, ands, or buts at that point. If Mailata gets beat by technique, he can rely on his pure strength and athleticism to help him.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he can literally just fall on a guy at that point. He doesn't even need to, he just lay on him. Like, Dillard can't do that. Mailata he might get beat sometimes, but he has things that he can fall back on and rely on that Dillard does not. And that's why I say he doesn't give up a sack, because of his pure strength and athleticism. And he's a big guy. Like, he can hold you even though you beat him. Somehow, some way, he figures it out, so.
Yep. I like it. Hey, I agree. I think he's going to be a really solid piece, and I hope he stays healthy. I really do. He's a good dude as well. Definitely.
Yeah.
So you said 2 on the defense now, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Number 1, I'm going to go with your boy Kayvon. I really do like him. I think he's going to see a lot more playing time, and I think he's hungry. I tend to players like that who embody Philadelphia and the spirit of it. So I'm going to go with him to break out. And the other guy, which nobody's been talking about, and it's not a technical breakout like of a career, but it is a breakout in Philadelphia, and that's Javon Hargrave. People seem to forget that this guy was, a very, very good pickup last year, and he's getting paid the worth. And let's be honest, he had a bad season. But surrounded by this other talent on the line, I think this is the time that Hargrave steps up and becomes that man, because people almost forget about him. I think he's going to have his Philly breakout this year. I'm excited.
I like that one. I really do. And it's crazy too, because a lot of people don't realize Hargraves makes more money than Fletcher Cox. He makes $10 million more actually than Fletch. Fletch makes 20, he makes 30. So I mean, there's $50 million between two players right there. That's ridiculous. Yep. All right, but it's worth it, and a lot of people don't realize. This team. I'm giving a lot of our stress from this team last year off of scheme. You want to base Hargraves off of Jim Schwartz's scheme. Barnett, Kayvon, Slay, any of these guys. Go right ahead. I don't even care. But if you think for 1 second that this year is going to be just the same as last year, you're fucking so mistaken. It's not. It's not going to happen. Because JG is not Jim Schwartz, and Jonathan what the fuck am I saying? Jonathan Gannon is not like Jim Schwartz, and Nick Sirianni is not like Doug Peterson. They're complete different opposite ends of the spectrum, and I don't feel that you're going to see the secondary get beat like they did under Jim Schwartz, because they'll have people back there to back them up. The offense isn't going to be just plain vanilla. Yeah, you see it right now, but even Nick told you that's all you're going to get during preseason. I'm not going to show you all my cards until week 1. And even after that, you're not going to see them all ever. Right. So I myself am not worried. And, this team right now, as it stands, I wouldn't change anything. I really like what we have. I really like the core group of guys that we have. Yeah, I'm on record saying I'd change the Flacco position, but who the fuck won it? It is what it is. It's too late now. We're stuck with him, but I'd still change it.
Right.
But yeah, man, my two breakouts for offense is going to have to be my Lotto one, but man, I'm going to throw everyone off here. I'm going to tell you right now, I believe Jalen Rager gets more yards and more touchdowns than Devontae Smith.
Wow. That's a bold one, man. I like it, though. I like it.
Slot's his natural position. He's going up against linebackers and stuff like that. There's no reason this kid should not be able to win.
I agree.
There's no reason. And if you have Quez on the other side of Smith, all right, first of all, you're going to stop the box or you're going to stack the box to stop Hurts and Miles. Well, Quez and Smith are just going to toast you. It's over.
Yep.
If you don't stack the box to keep them from toasting you, Hurts and Miles are going to toast you. So either way, you're kind of screwed because, like you said earlier, we have a lot of speed on this offense, my guy. A lot of speed. More speed than what we probably have had in ever. I mean, could you say that? Almost ever?
Long time,
I mean, this is a very, very fast offense. Between Smith, Quez, Hurts, Miles, disgusting. Anyway, and defensively, it's Kayvon and, like I said, Maddox. I believe this is Maddox's breakout year this year. In the slot, where he's supposed to be. So, yeah, man.
I love his energy, man. I hope so. I really hope. You're making me believe again, but hey.
See, but that's the thing, man. Like I told you, I hold them to a very high pedestal. Like there's no pedestal that you can put this team on, except up there. They're the upper echelon just because they have the best fan base in all of the world. I mean, you can put us up against any fan base out there in the world, and I probably can tell you we're going to win. I mean, that's how much we love and bleed for this team, And like you said last year, I don't want you to get all miscombobulated and shit, man, about last year. You stuck with 7. I was on 7. You had brand new head coaches on all 3 teams. You didn't know what the hell was going on. Everything was jumbled up except for us.
Yep.
We were the only team in this division that was standing whole with everyone. The continuity was there, everything. There was nothing. Everyone knew everyone. And then you come out and you win 4 games.
Yeah.
That's fucking pathetic.
There was no
So I don't blame you for thinking that way because it should have been that way. It should have. Brand new coaches, 3 brand new coaches, damn near 3 brand new quarterbacks on each team. I mean, Daniel Jones was in his 2nd year. Alex Smith and fucking Dwayne Haskins? No thanks. And then
Dak.
Yeah, but they had no defense. So it was like it was kind of just right there in our laps, and it blew up in our face.
It was. And the last thing I'll say is actually, go ahead. Keep going.
I was just going to say, I don't want you to feel like you need to be down on this team because of that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm with you, bro. Like, I say 12, but if you ask me personally and tell me to give you my honest answer, I'll say 8 or 9. Like, that's because I don't want to say 12 and then, like you said, look totally fucking ridiculous. Like, that's not me. But don't veer away from it, though, because I do believe we have the pieces in the right place. They just all have to buy in.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to see who really represents the power this year with the Eagles. But, the last thing I would want to say is, first off, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. And shout out to you, man. Keep working. But, as much as I say we're going to win 7 games, and I do believe that, and I don't want to go over the ledge again, the crazy thing about it is, I actually think we could win the division at 7 games. I do, because our division – is that bad. And if you told me that we're in a rebuild, retool, but we can still contend for the division at the same time, I don't care, man. I'm going to be excited. And the thing that the Eagles will have on their side this year is that nobody will pick them. We'll probably be an underdog in every game. and I just want to see somebody go out there and punch the other team in the mouth. That's all I want to see. So I'm excited.
Hey, man, our team plays the best when we're underdogs. We know that. So bring it on. I love that we're underdogs. I love people talking shit on us because when it's all said and done and we're sitting number one, oh, don't come crying then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to fucking hear it. But
Yep.
I like to follow history as well. And I'll make this short and sweet because you probably got places to go and people to see. So I like to follow history. Every year that we finish fourth in our division, the following year, we were number one. Every single solitary time.
There you
Every single solitary time. So everyone out there, remember that. And if you don't believe me, Google the shit. I don't care because I ain't wrong. Every year the Philadelphia Eagles have finished fourth in the division. The next year we finish first. And I'm going to stay on that track because history doesn't lie. So
go. Yep.
I'm with you, bro. There's no reason we should not be able to win the division this year, even with 7 games. But hey, we'll see.
Yeah, we will. I mean, I hope we kick everyone's ass in the division. I really do hope that. Shut these nauseating Cowboys fans up. These Giants fans that think Daniel Jones is the next big thing. No. And I'm not scared of Fitz magic. I'll tell you that.
Okay, so I'm going to try that disease that they're talking about for, well, I don't know if it's a disease or just a medical issue, honestly. I don't freaking know. But, Birdman, tell me if I'm saying this right. Is it diverticulitis? If I got that right, I'll be completely shocked because
I think so.
Sweet. So, yeah, man, I do appreciate you coming on here. Like I said, I've been trying to do this for a month with you. Things weren't matching up, but we finally got it going. And, dude, I had so much fun doing this with you, man.
Yeah, likewise.
Really easy guy to talk to. Real easy guy.
Yeah, I loved it, man. Definitely. And can't wait. Week 1 coming up, man. Let's go.
Yes, sir. I'm ready, dude. Like, no lie. I will be at the Eagles-Chiefs game with Philly Foothills, so I'm pumped for that. I took my daughter down 2 Sundays ago to her first ever practice open live. Dude, she just went nuts. Like, she's diehard Eagle fan, everything now. So that was cool.
It's a lifestyle, man.
It is. Yeah. You either are or you're not. There is no in between.
Yep.
So, hey, much love to you, my guy. I appreciate everything that you do for every Eagle content creator, above you, below you, next to you, anything, man. You're a cool dude to talk to. I love listening to everything that you do when it comes to 76ers and Eagles stuff. Even though I'm a Bulls fan, I still listen to you. I don't know, man. It's just somehow the way you do it. I don't know, but it's cool. And I appreciate the support from you and everything. And hey, I can't wait to do this more. Hopefully we can do it throughout the season here.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Thank you again, man. And shout out to everybody in the chat, man. Keep on supporting. Drop a like on it, man. Subscribe to his channel.
Yes, definitely. And I appreciate you. And hey, you know what? Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe. I'm at 210 subs in 2 months. I love it. You guys are great. My fuck you crew always comes through and provides, and I love each and every one of you for it. And you know what? Until next time, guys, not sure who I'm going to have on next. Stay tuned for that. It might be Tom Arnone. It might be somebody else. I don't know. Until next time, this is AK Eagles and RB. I'm such a dick. Go ahead and, tell everyone where they can find you, even though they probably already know. But
yo, shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to my guy. You guys can find me, Philly Take with RB, on YouTube. Go look it up. Hit the subscribe if you like the content, man. We'll be pumping it out, as always.
Short and sweet. That's how you do it. All right. Until next time, please don't forget to come back at 9 p.m. tonight for the East Meets West podcast with me and Philly Foothills and Vic 3. Always an interesting time with those two, so don't want to miss that. Until next time, this is AK Eagles, and this is the Eagles Uncensored podcast. I may fuss, I may cuss, but you can count on me and my content like the fucking city bus. And until next time, we are out and fly, Eagles, fly.